My name is Officer William Kissel, badge ID number 0117. On Monday, April 26th, 2021 at 1303 hours, I responded to a call for service about a assault and robbery at the Bruce Mobile store on 808 8th Street, Gotham, New York. The reporting person was Krista Jones, the manager at the store, and the victim was Morgan Smith, the employee that was assaulted at the store. And the suspect was Henry Robert Drum. As previously stated, the robbery took place at the Bruce Mobile store. My interview with Morgan Smith was at Gotham Hospital, and my initial interview with Henry Drum was at his home, and he was later questioned at Gotham Police Department. Morgan was working the front desk at the Bruce Mobile store, while at the time she was 6 weeks pregnant. When Mr. Drum came in, she started to try and chit-chat with him, and then out of nowhere, he punched her very hard in the face, and this made her fall backwards onto the floor. Mr. Drum then went behind the counter and stood over Morgan, demanding to know how to open the register. No admittance from Mr. Drum as to why he committed the crime, but based off the information collected, the most likely reason as to why was to just get some money to pay off his phone bill and have it reactivated. In the brutal video, Morgan can be seen sitting at the front counter on her phone while the store is empty. And around 13 seconds into the video, Mr. Drum opens the front door. But he uses his shirt over his hand to open it, so he doesn't leave any fingerprints. Morgan greets him, and he walks to the right end of the front counter and pulls out his phone from his pocket. Morgan asks him how she could help him, and she stood up from her chair while Mr. Drum put his phone away and moved towards the middle of the counter where she was. He then reached over the counter and punched Morgan square in the face very hard with his left hand. In fact, he hit her so hard that she fell backwards onto the floor, knocking over the chair. Mr. Drum then rushed around the counter to get behind it, and he stood over Morgan, saying to her to open the register. In the video, you can see Morgan sitting up with her hands up, saying, okay, hold on. Morgan told Mr. Drum to press the button behind the counter and that would open the register. He presses the button and starts taking out all the money, and he tells Morgan, "Don't you move now." Morgan responded to him, sounding panicked and fearful. Okay, please don't hurt me, I'm pregnant. Mr. Drum puts all the money into his left front pocket and closes the register and then wipes it off with his shirt so he doesn't leave any fingerprints. He then takes the store phone from a shelf behind the counter, grabs it, and also puts it into his pocket. At this time, Morgan can be seen moaning and gasping in pain, saying, "Please just go, just go." After this, Mr. Drum leaves the store through the front door, leaning on it with his back so he doesn't touch it to leave fingerprints. After Mr. Drum has left the store, Morgan began to yell for her manager, Krista, but she seems to be having trouble talking and yelling. But she's eventually able to stand up, and she checks the register to see all the money is gone. She continues calling for Krista to come help her, and is still gasping and moaning, and she then wipes off her gushing bloody nose with her shirt and is starting to cry. As far as injuries go, Morgan did not have any broken bones, but she did have lots of broken cartilage in her nose. The doctors checked on her pregnancy, everything was fine, and they said Morgan would have lots of very bad bruising around her nose and eyes, and she would need surgery to fix the broken cartilage in her nose and set it back into place. The charges that Mr. Drum is facing are assault in the first degree, because Mr. Drum caused, with intent, serious physical injury to Morgan and disfigurement. He's also charged with robbery in the second degree, because in the course of the commission of the crime, he caused physical injury to a person who was not a participant of the crime, that being Morgan.